Hey guys, Al Pulling here from Party Time DJ Services with just a quick powered speaker review. We're looking today at the NX55P version 2. I say a quick review because I did a review on the original NX55Ps a few years ago. I did own the NX55Ps for roughly 7 years, and they were basically my first good sounding quality active speakers. So when Yorkville came out with the version 2, I just really wanted to test them and compare to see how better and improved they are versus the version 1. Basically, NX55P is Yorkville's most popular active speaker from what I've read. It is very nice and compact, weighing in at 41 pounds, retail price of $995 a piece. Now that may seem a little steep, but when you're talking about quality speakers, expect to pay more than $300 or $400. These are substantially better than, for example, Mackie Thumps or that entry-level active speaker. These are 41 pounds. 12 inches, 1-inch compression driver with 1,000 watts available power. That's one difference with the version 1 to version 2. Version 1 had 550 watts of applied power available. Not a really big difference between 550 watts and 1,000 watts. Although most people think that there will be. Basically, it translates into a maximum of 3 decibel increase, which would appear or sound to most people like an increase of about 30% of perceived volume. So it is noticeably louder than the original versions, but not as much as you'd think that a doubling of power would give you. I think from what I heard in my testing, the improvements are really in the processing, as these sound a lot more transparent once the limiting sets in versus the original versions. The ones I had actually, when you had bass heavy music that was a little bit too loud, I'd say at the point that the limiters were kicking in, I could actually hear the woofer bottoming out. I actually had to change the woofers on my original NX55Ps. So I'm really glad that they improved the processing on it. Sound quality is just fantastic. If you plug these in, in a little studio like this and play any pre-recorded music that you like, that you're familiar with, you're going to say, holy crap, these sound really good. And they do. Low frequency extension is actually down to 45 hertz, and I can guarantee you that's the case, as I did DJ an event a few weeks ago where I brought the DXR15s. I had them on the floor and I had the NX55Ps on stands over them just to do a quick comparison. Sound quality wise, the NX55P-2 actually does go lower than the DXR15s. As mentioned, it goes down to 45 hertz. That's at minus or plus 3 decibels, while the DXRs actually are around 53, 55 decibels at that minus or plus 3 dB point. So out of the box, you're going to say, wow, these sound nice and full, and they do, very warm sounding, while there's still some very nice crisp top end. So really well-balanced cabinet. Very, very hi-fi sounding, like many active speakers sound these days. As mentioned, price is $995 per unit, and it comes with a 2-year, no questions asked warranty from Yorkville. And Yorkville is a Canadian manufacturer, and these are actually produced and designed in Canada. So big thumbs up to Yorkville for that. So I always enjoy using Canadian-made products. Output-wise, they are better than the original NX55Ps, but I still find that in my testing, they don't quite get as loud as the DXR15s, and that's kind of to be expected, as the DXR15s are a bigger box and they do have a 15-inch woofer. So where the limiting in the Yorkvilles does come in a lot quicker, especially because of that bass boost that gets that 45 hertz bass possible from such compact cabinets. So that's kind of like a trade-off, basically. So low to medium volumes, sound quality is fantastic. Once you pass that threshold where the woofer limiting kicks in, unfortunately, if you give more gain to the speaker, what happens is that only the compression driver will get louder, and it gets a little bit harsh and annoying on the ears because it's only high frequencies that are getting louder, and the bass kind of stands still and can't do anymore. And that's normal. That's to protect the woofer. So that's kind of like a trade-off. At lower to medium volumes, the NX55Ps sound fantastic. Great for small events, small venues where you are not expecting, so many people, maybe a small 40, 50 person group, and you don't want to bring subs. Ideal cabinet, nice and compact, lightweight. But if you expect a bigger crowd, whatnot, these are great to pair up with the LS720P, which are active subs that actually match up very well aesthetically and cosmetically with these. So there you go. So basically, great speakers, Canadian made. really enjoyed the sound of them. Even after a few years of not owning them, it was great to get that NX55P sound again. And compared to the DXR15s, as mentioned, the DXRs will definitely get significantly louder when useful range, even though both cabinets have the same SPL rating. These SPL ratings, 128 dB continuous and 134 dB peak, I'm kind of questioning these because manufacturers do print them. They don't always indicate how they were measured. Is this with all the limiters taken off and measured for a microsecond at a given frequency? I'm not sure, but I can tell you the DXR15 get noticeably louder, and the processing is a little bit better. As mentioned, what happens with these is once they get past that point where the woofer can't move any more air, it's just the high frequencies that get louder, and that's that nice sound you started with. Unfortunately, it degrades pretty quickly if you pass that point where the woofer limiter comes on. So as long as you know those limitations, an NX55P is really overall a great box for DJing live sound. If you don't want to get subs with it, so maybe go move up to the NX750P or to the Parasource PS15P. As 15s, they can simply move more air and they do better full range, which is why the DXR15s simply outperform them, head-to-head when useful range, and that's to be expected. But I was just curious to see how they would do, and yeah, there was noticeably more output from the DXR15s, but maybe a high pass with subs, then be a different ball games, and maybe the smaller 12 inches would sound better, vocal-wise or whatnot. So anyway, it was just a quick test, quick review of the new NX55P version 2s from Yorkville. So good job, Yorkville, on improving what was already a very good sounding cabinet. These new version 2s basically just get a little bit louder before limiting, and I find that the processing is much better. Limiting is more transparent. And just really overall a very good box. And you know that if it's in Long McQuaid's rental inventory, that these are built to last and designed to take good punishment. And even if you do manage to destroy them, just remember Yorkville's famous 2-year, even if you break them, warranty. So you're covered. So I highly recommend these for any DJs doing smaller events. And as mentioned, if you do bigger stuff and you don't want subs, NX750P or the Parasource PS15Ps are also available. So I actually forget if I showed you the mixer section, because this is like the third time I tried to record this, but basically mixer section, nice, a little bit limited compared to a lot of speakers. They have 2 or 3 channels, and they have Bluetooth, and they have RCA ins, but overall still a nice flexible mixer section. Basically this part here is if you'd plug in your mixer directly. Just a high pass filter at 100 hertz if you're using subs. There's a clip light, limit light, and a power light. Inputs and outs are XLR and 1/4 inch. If you need that mixer section, basically you'll plug into this side, plug a mic, and you plug your line in, and you have a control for both mic and line in, as well as the treble and bass control that affects both. So there you go. There's the mixer section. So Yorkville NX55P version 2. Highly recommended if you like a nice, crisp, and full and warm sound. These are nice hi-fi sounding active speakers made and designed in Canada. So good job, Yorkville. If you have any questions, guys, feel free, as always, to leave me a comment, and I'll do my best to answer them. Have a great day. Bye-bye.